Lez Hang Out. And let's talk about what Lez is about. And let's listen to two lesbians shout. Lez Hang Out.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Lez Hang Out. Ellie, I'm gonna jump and I hope you catch me on this one. The podcast where we should be lovers.
We can't do that.
Thank you. We should be lovers. And that's a fact. Oh, well, from the West Coast, I'm Lee Holmes Foster. Before we do the whole song.
You gave me such a heart attack. I was like, please let me know what's coming next.
You have to know what's coming. We did spend a lot of time singing that before, so.
Yes. I'm obsessed. From the East Coast, I'm Ellie Brigida. To those of you who have with us this whole journey, thank you as always for listening. If you're a new listener, welcome. We're excited to have you here. Here's what's happening this week.
This week in the Lesdom.
This week in the Lesdom is a place where we can touch base each episode about things going on with the podcast or otherwise. And in season 9, we are continuing to release our Patreon bonus episodes. Our next episode is going to be on my old ass. You can listen to all of those at bit.ly/lespatreon.
We also want to let everybody know that we are going to be closing signups for our trip to France soon. If you are interested in going, we need to have you signed up and your deposit in by November 1st. This is going to be deciding if the trip can happen or not. So if you haven't signed up yet and you're interested in going to Paris and Bordeaux with us in March of 2026, sign up at bit.ly/LesDoFrance.
In the greater Les universe, Janelle Monáe did an interview with Lucy Dacus where I'm sure you've all seen it. She said she time traveled into the past to see David Bowie. It's a hilarious conversation, I feel like, in the comments between, like, we always believe women and, like, is Janelle Monáe having a spiritual psychosis? And also Lucy Dacus being that queer person. I'm like, how many times have you been at a party when, like, a queer person has been like, and yes, like, there's the astrological gaze and there's the time traveling gaze, and like,
and then
sure.
There's Lucy Dacus looking like she is fully being kidnapped. Like, just the look of extreme concern that she tries to play off so fast is so funny.
I just love it because I feel like it is just such a gay thing to be like, then I saw a ghost, and you're like, oh yes, and what did the ghost look like? You know?
And was it David Bowie? It was. Okay, great.
It was.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Like, I just
like,
love how she clarifies. She's like, you traveled back in time?
Back in time.
And Janelle Monáe's just like, yep. Traveled back in time, saw David Bowie, and honestly, like, take us with you. I want to go.
I wish I was there for that concert.
It sounds awesome. Also in the Greater Les universe, former guest of the pod, Lauren Chan, is married officially. Congrats to Lauren and her new wife. The photos looked super cute. They were both in like little like long pant get-ups.
It was
and,
a good wedding
They
pantsuit get-up.
were cute, yeah.
We have been talking about Snoop Dogg a lot this season, which I find funny.
Really depressing for us.
Not on my lesbian bingo card for the year, but Snoop Dogg now, after doubling down on his being terrified to talk to his kids about things that are gay, has released a song called Love is Love.
It's a real roller coaster with Snoop Dogg right now.
I don't know if like one of his lesbian publicists was like, you have to do this. And he was like, all right, fine. I'll write the most basic gay song. Love is love, everyone. Like, don't come for me.
I feel like if I was going to animate this moment, here's what my animation would look like. And I need you to know this. So you'd have like a wall with a door, right? And then like Snoop Dogg walks through that door and is like, terrified of gay people. And then he just like walks out and slams the door behind him. And then people are like, wait, what? And then he like walks back in and he's like, I said what I fucking said. And then he walks back out again and slams the door again. And then the door opens again and it's just Snoop Dogg in like a full pride flag regalia being like, love is love. And then he just leaves. And everyone in the room's just like, the fuck is happening right now? No one even invited that guy. That's kind of what the queer community is like right now.
That's exactly what it's like. But
someone animate this for me.
Thank you, Snoop Dogg, question mark.
Yeah, correct.
That's what's happening this week. Back to you, Ellie and Lee.
Thanks, Ellie and Lee. We are so excited to bring you episode 5 of season 9, Tough Lovers. And we are joined by a very special guest today. We have Daviel Shy, who is a multidisciplinary artist who created and stars in The Lovers, a 7-episode series that's available now on Prime, who also wrote and directed over a dozen short films, who runs LMNOP, which I think is the greatest name for anything ever, Lesbian Movie Night Ongoing Project. It's in multiple cities and venues, and also co-founded Daylight Films. Daviel, hi!
Hi.
Thank you so much for joining us. We love a multi-hyphenate. We love a queer creator not waiting for someone to give you permission to make the shit, doing it all yourself. So thank you so much for joining us.
I'm so happy to be here. I really love that you called it Tough Lovers. That encapsulates so much more than you know. You really hit it on the head.
Good. It's our theme for like every episode title is just bad, cheesy puns. And sometimes you just gotta make them work the best you can. So
sometimes it hits right good out here.
Sometimes it hits. Yeah, I also feel like everyone should know how much of your bio I cut out, because just for the sake of like me not just reading for the entire episode, you do a lot. You've done a lot, do a lot of things. There's a lot in there.
We love it.
We're super excited to dive into it all.
Yes. Why don't you tell us a little bit before we start? I'm like, tell us your whole life story. But I'm just curious, like, as a creator, how has it been creating your own art?
How has it been?
Yeah, in like 10 words or less.
Right, it's been a long bio of things. But I'm like, I guess my question is like, what is this? This is my question to you from another freelance creative type. This is your full-time gig? You have other stuff you do?
Yeah, well, because the industry is in shambles in LA, if you know, if you don't know, it is. Everybody, that I know, and most of the people who worked on The Lovers have come to some moment where you have to say, okay, like, what am I going to do? I don't have any other skills. So I went double, triple, quadruple all in, and am like now sort of living my dream, whereas I was like on the outskirts of somewhat related to creative fields for the past, 5, 6, 7, 8 years, So now, yes, I do it full time with like a million caveats of like how you actually make it work, which includes sometimes odd jobs. It sometimes includes leaving my expensive, but not so expensive for LA apartment so that someone else is paying the rent. It looks like a lot of things, but amazingly, the majority of like what I'm doing and how I'm making my money now is like some form of writing, filmmaking, and I'm transitioning to porn because it is an industry that has a different financial structure than the one that is in shambles.
Yes.
So there's my the short-lived of it is like, yes, I am living my dreams now.
That
was the question, because I feel you.
I want to say real quick, there's something real fun about saying like, I don't have any other skills, when it's like, you're a actor, writer, director, producer, costumer, event, like with. I don't have any other skills. I don't have just any other skills except for the 15,000 I have.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, that's how every creator is.
That's good. It's
heard.
very.
I heard. Yes.
We're here to gas you up.
I guess what I mean to say is I don't know how to type.
Yeah,
sure.
Like,
there you go.
I have the same thing. I'm like, don't put me in an office.
Right.
I would die. So yes, like we're stuck where we are because we are too talented to do anything else, but that's
wow, as someone who does work in an office, Ellie, that one cut so deep.
I'm sorry, Lee, I'm sorry.
Maybe we're just too stubborn.
Why are you attacking me?
No, I'm sorry.
Sudden?
I'm too
What
ADHD
happened?
for that. That's why. But let's talk about the series Lovers, because like I feel like I was asking you that because I'm like, you clearly have like really worked in the industry, like created a lot of stuff on your own with friends, with community. How did this particular web series start? Because you do like everything in it. Tell us all the things you did in it.
Okay, in this one, I performed kind of seriously for the first time, and that was because of lack of access since it was the pandemic, and I had myself and my partner at the time at my disposal. So I starred in it, but that was new. I live learned how to act in front of everybody in the series, amazing. Throughout the series. I shot parts of it, sound, I wrote it, and I directed it.
Amazing.
Just casual.
Oh yeah, and like props and sets and costumes.
Yeah, that sounds right. And how did you come up, because you wrote it, like how did you come up with the concept for the series? Like, is some of it autobiographical? Where did it come from? Some of it is borrowed from different community members. The main space I was in when I wrote it was the pandemic happened, and I was like, okay, I'm just not going to make anything right now. Like what I was working on for the past bunch of years was a erotic nun story, which it exists if anyone wants to buy it. Wait, tell us, what's the erotic nun story?
Well, it was called The Passion of Dolores. It was about this woman who serviced the nuns of a forgotten order in San Francisco that were actually descendants of this pre-Christian sect that had hidden themselves in Christianity, and they saw visions of God through orgasm. And so they found this loophole in the text to have a woman, if a woman serviced them, it was like technically they weren't touching themselves and they weren't being touched by men. So they were like A-okay under the church.
A gay loophole.
Yes.
Oh my God.
That was what I had been spending years on.
And this is where we get The Sound of Music. Yes.
That's what I was about to say. I was like, I feel like that's just our should have been gay for The Sound of Music.
that's The Sound of Music should have been gay. 100%. It's not a man.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway.
Feels holy to me.
It's like the precursor to Benedetta.
Actually, I read the original text as preparing for that, and then when the film came out, I was like, oh yeah, I know you.
That's hilarious. Love that.
Oh my God.
But that's what I had been working on, and I was here thinking like so close to being finished with that, and thinking like nothing will ever be the same, so I can't have this script set in present day. Like I have to scrap it.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought I wasn't going to write anything or do anything, and that lasted like less than a month. And then I was like, let me just take all the ideas that I wanted to get across in that script and put them into something new that addresses the now. And then The Lovers was born.
I love that. Lee and I also created things during the pandemic. I feel like it was a very like, you're by yourself and you're like, I am so bored. This is like I need to do something. Like I need to do something creative. And I just love that you use the time to create.
The casting choices were made by like people I admired. Some of them weren't even my close friends yet, but they were just like people where I was like, oh, I love this person's work and I know I can trust them to make something that I will like visually. Mm-hmm. So they can shoot in their own home, if they say yes. And so each of those people, as I was getting more yeses, I would tweak the script, and make it tailored to each of them. So it kind of grew in that way where I was like thinking about a lot of other directors, honestly, who I knew I could trust.
So like you basically had like a crew of directors filming in each like sort of vignette. Yes?
Yeah, that's true of like Liz Vasquez, who plays the astrologer, and that's true of Samantha Kelly, who plays Julia. But then, I filmed myself and the Anthony character so that's the other thing is that it wasn't a time of being bored because my partner at the time, Valerie Whitehawk, her grandmother lived with her and had just had a stroke. So we were full-time caretakers. So we didn't have any time. So it also made me have to think about how would I structure a set if I'm really putting these values of like community care at the heart of it. And so we came up with different rules. Like we can't be on set for more than 4 hours because she couldn't get someone to take care of her grandmother for longer than that. Things like that. So yes, everyone's experience was so individualized, but yes, thankfully I had the help of my co-star, but it also had me rethinking ways of making the work.
Before we like dive too much into some of the stuff in the show, can we give for our listeners who maybe haven't watched it yet?
I know I jumped so in. Sorry, I was just excited.
No, that's okay. I want to give us just like some context. So can we do, first of all, where can people find it? I know we said it's on Prime. You said there's a couple ways to watch it, and maybe just like the quick elevator pitch for anyone who hasn't seen it yet before we like dive all in and try to stay mostly spoiler light, right?
Spoiler light.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can watch it on Prime for rent or for purchase, or streaming in the UK. And if it's streaming in your country, let me know, because I'm not exactly sure where else it's streaming. It's also free on the app Real Short. So if you download that app, it's totally free on there, which is pretty awesome. It's like a romance app. It is also on Vimeo on demand. So that is if you have access to the internet, but not Prime, no problem.
I love that. Also, a quick aside about Reel Shorts. They're the ones that are always doing like the TikTok ads. I'm sure you have seen them, but like they have the TikTok ads that are like full. It's like they only do like short clips. So you watch like one short clip and you have to like scroll and watch like. Have you seen those at all?
I've never been on TikTok.
What? Okay, well here's my story to you. No, it's fine. But people will probably find lovers on TikTok because of this, hopefully. But it's funny because me and my girlfriend, we are like so close to like subscribing to Reel Shorts because they really hook you. I can't even describe. It's like they give you like soap operas on TikTok.
Yes.
And they really hook you in. So anyone else who is also a Reel Shorts lover, but I'm like, maybe this is my time to subscribe.
Or Reel Shorts curious adjacent.
Yeah, exactly.
If you're under the Reel Shorts umbrella,
Yes.
I'm actually honored to be on that. First of all, they pay well. Second of all, they have a enormous market because most of the world only has a phone. Yeah. And also like my aunt was a romance novelist. And so in some ways I feel like I'm honoring her by being in this like very like romance soapy like genre.
Honestly, the shorts slap. Like they suck you in so good. So that's so funny. I'm happy that you're on it. I'm going to tell my girlfriend immediately.
Yes.
We love Reel Shorts. This episode not sponsored by Reel Shorts.
Not yet, Ellie. Yeah. Not yet. We've got time before it comes out. Anything can happen.
Yes. Okay, so give the elevator pitch. Like the synopsis.
Okay, so the lovers. Okay, so we kind of each episode is a little bit more about one or another character of this whole network of sexual and spiritual workers during the pandemic. But it starts with Daphna, who is like averse to all technology and is obsessed with touch in her job as being a professional lover, and she suddenly like loses all connection through touch and has to deal with like going online to have any connection at all. So that's kind of like where it begins.
I love the description of it only because what immediately popped into my head, and maybe that's just, I'm like primed for this because we were just talking about like the whole romance and your aunt being a romance novelist. I feel like the description of it's like, it's sort of bouncing between these different characters episode by episode. It makes me feel like this is sort of, it's like a throwback to the days of Love Actually, like those kind of movies, like what's like the other ones like Valentine's Day or like something, but like if they were he's just not gayer and kinkier and like
yes.
Did you all ever see that show Skins?
Yes.
That had the Love Actually, or no, the About a Boy Kid, I think, in it.
Yeah, yeah.
They really got into each character like POV, and so I was kind of influenced by that, but I didn't go all the way like that. It's just like vaguely a different character's kind of side of the story.
I love that. It's like kinky, even gayer skins. Yeah, great.
Yes.
That's how we're gonna sell the audience. There you go.
Yes, it is quite gay, and that's amazing. I was gonna talk about. So I know, like, I feel like it's a cool thing for you to have done like the sexual and the spiritual workers. Like when you're talking about that was like ringing some stuff in me. But I feel like it's interesting to do that set in COVID. Like, I don't know. I just want to talk a little bit about that central kind of theme of like, what do you do when like touch is so important to you, and then it's like, all right, you can't do it at all.
I think that I had seen some, I think it was like a Muslim meme that was like, we are way ahead of you. We already have been washing our hands. You know, like a sort of talking about the different ritualized ways that certain communities were already doing this. And now all of a sudden, I dated all through COVID, but because I was non-monogamous. And so even though I had a partner, like I had a dating practice and I wasn't going to stop it, but I had to do it distance and on hikes and things like that. So the negotiations just start to take on a whole new level. But who has already been like well-versed in negotiating people in BDSM? So I felt like there was certain communities that were like, yeah, we were already doing this, you know. I after I saw that hand washing meme, and I was like, yeah, there are certain things like, you know, that everybody, like I was just like, I'm just gonna have like a really slow sensual hand washing scene, you know, like basically for me it was just kind of like so obvious, you know, the overlap and the chance to comment on that.
Yeah, I feel like it's the like discussion of boundaries that like is pretty much always being had. And then it's just a different kind of boundary. So I find it interesting because it's like it's a series that's set during COVID, but it doesn't feel like sterile. And I feel like that's the point, right? It's like I feel like there's so much of like COVID type media that is so, like I said, sterile. Like there's such a sensuality in what you're portraying because like the sensuality is still there. We're just like wearing masks.
Right. And the mask part just has to do with when you're seeing other people, but there's so much of the time that's happening that's you're reckoning with your own self and your own detritus and the cutting of the nails and the dust and the dirty laundry and the, you know, like these things are sensual. And if you don't have to run off to work, then you have time to contemplate that. And I think that was kind of what I was taking from my scrapped script, you know, and trying to, and actually the pandemic was a better way to introduce those concepts.
Have you revisited this nun script or no?
I mean, I reread it and I was like, this is freaking good and I would sell it.
Great. You should. You should.
Because I don't think I have the energy to direct it anymore. Like I told you, like I've moved on to like 5 to 7 minute films that are going to get me paid, aka porn. But however, I still stand by that script and I think people would like it. I think you two would like it.
Yes.
I think we already do.
Yeah.
I think we're already sold.
Yes. Some of the characters in the series also are working in porn, so I'm curious, like, were you working in porn prior to?
No.
Like you manifested that. I'm gonna write these characters, and then I'm just gonna like slide myself in.
Okay, yeah. I have to tell you, maybe I'm just like a cowardly person, but I made a film like back in 2016 that was like all about Natalie Clifford Barney, who's a 1920s like non-monogamous hero, real true story, real person. And I was like, oh, and I like learned about non-monogamy this way, and then, you know, changed my whole life. So I think that my manner of like exploring the next thing I'm interested in exploring is like making a film about it. So little did I know that I was like testing the waters with my fictional porn company. And then I was like so jealous of the character. I was like, I want to have a porn company as well. You know, like I think that's what happened.
I love that. So you are working on your own porn company. You're not working for other people.
So myself and my business partner, Amina, who is a photographer, she's like a fine art photographer, are making a porn company together that is like very analog heavy, very like underground kind of feel to it. I think this is a good time to go underground. I think there's not just the kind of censorship that porn was already used to, but there's whole new levels of censorship. And I think that, you know, with the rise of, for instance, VHS and, you know, certain things having a comeback, I think there's like a chance for us to go back to the type of distribution models that Amina and I were used to, like zines and that type of thing, like direct to consumer. So yeah, we're really excited about that. We have about 5 films in the works right now.
What I love is like, there's something so, we live in weird times, man. We're living through weird times these days. I just feel like there's something so funny about being like, it's 2025 and the AI overlords are coming for us soon. And then simultaneously being like, so we're going to start like going back to making short form VHS porn, you know? And it's like, I don't know why that just feels so perfect. It's so on point for like, yeah, that's where we're at right now, you know?
Yeah.
That's good.
Yep. I mean, if we learned anything from the dystopian 80s movies that I grew up on, it's that you have to get hornier, you know?
Yes.
That's it. Wait, which dystopian 80s movie?
I think I was thinking of the one with what's Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Terminator.
No, the underground world. Escape from LA. Like all of those.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is that one? Total Recall. It's called Total Recall.
I really am so interested in this porn company because I've been talking to like some of my queer lesbian friends and they're like, you cannot find good queer porn.
Well, I would plug a handful. I say they are out there and I owe them everything. But we're going to add to that.
Tell us the other ones as well. I'll be taking notes.
So after you join,
Ellie's just asking for her now. Who is she
like
kidding?
My friends. Like, I don't know. Just like people that I know.
My friends were talking the other day and they were saying this thing. Anyways, I got a notepad out. So
after you join Real Shorts,
yes,
get a subscription to Pink Label TV because the people who have been doing Crash Pad for all these years, Shine Louise Houston, etc., have Pink Label TV, which is an entire distribution site that also pays people really well, treats people really great. And also there's like art films on there that can't be on in other places because they're too explicit. But there's also so many different studios of porn. Like, and there you'll find some of the great other ones that I was going to recommend, like Aorta and stuff like that. So in a non-scarcity minded move, it's not just my company you're going to want to see. It's a whole movement.
I think that that's the best way to be. I agree. But thank you for the recommendations for my friends.
Yeah.
I love that. Okay, so I'm also like, so you literally are just making VHSs, like there's going to be no online distribution?
No, that's not true. We're going to do tiers because you know how you have to do the Instagram safe for work and then the like OnlyFans not safe for work, but then you also have to do the not safe for the internet because there's all the stuff that they don't want. Okay, I don't know what I'm allowed to say on this show. So
anything.
The stuff that those platforms think are too obscene is so just like clearly like we're men and we don't get it. You know, like fisting? What? Fisting is not okay. It's just not okay at all. And it's like, who's coming up with this? Like that you're drawing the line there. Blood is not okay, including menstrual blood. That's a little bit of some hatred right there.
Yeah, that's messed up.
So if you want to see real things that people do for fun, and also some of our films are also just like very just erotic art, you know, like it's not all hardcore, but it is also, you know, it's just all different things. If you want to see things that are not safe for the internet, those things will be distributed by your fresh local porn VHS distributor.
I'm just like imagining you like on a bike
on a trike,
like throwing them like a newspaper.
Oh my god! Yeah,
I know. Sorry to dive down this rabbit hole. I just was so curious.
I also really am loving the like life imitating art things because like there's the whole VHS moment of the show as well too, right? Like just to you brought it back really well. Good job. See what I'm doing here? This is what we're doing. So I feel like yes, you have this series. We have people doing porn. We have a porn company. We have the VHS. We have like there's all this stuff. So yeah, do you just have this handy knack for like creating the stuff that you want your life to be and become?
Well, where does one, you know, some people have a journal and I make a series, you know, like it's like where do you write it out? Where do you figure it out? Where do you figure it out with lower stakes than real life, you know?
Yeah, some people just join like a D&D group and you're like, I'm going to produce and write and direct and star in a whole series.
The thing
just to try out and see where I land on all this stuff.
I also think none of it would be possible if I didn't make the series, because a lot of the collaborators, you know, we got to know that we work really well together because of doing that. And Amina hit me up to do something on The Lovers, but it didn't end up working out. But then we realized that we had the same dream of the porn company. So, you know, like I think that it put forward these things, and then my life had to catch up.
I love that. I also love to, like, I mean, we talk about this a lot on the show of like creating art with, by, and for the community, right? Like, and sometimes you just have to be like, okay, well, a mainstream studio isn't going to produce this. Like, I'm just going to do it myself.
I think that you're so onto it. And I have the wisdom now on the other side of it of saying that. But I unfortunately was like delusional enough to keep applying for grants along the way. When it's like, sex worker, period, they're going to throw it away. You know, like I just didn't realize how marginalized the story was, because I'm like, oh, this sounds good and fresh and, you know, everyone will like it. You know, so I think now kind of coming to terms more with that and like sliding it into this loophole where it's available on Amazon, which is like freaking, I think that's like a fluke, but it's like a great one.
What was the loophole?
Well, I don't think it was reviewed by a human being. I think it was a bot.
Great. This is the only good thing that bots have done for us.
I mean, that's my theory, because my entire distribution, like my digital distributor, was all automated. Like I had to upload everything and like make sure everything would pass QC. Like, but once I did that, there it was, and it just pushed it to all these, I think, algorithms that were like, okay, this has this keyword, we're taking 5 queer shows or whatever. And then they took it. I think if a human being, you know, a higher up at Amazon was choosing these things, I don't think it would be there. I think that they are too greedy to gatekeep in the way that they used to. And that's good for us at the moment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I'll be honest, it's not the show I would have expected to find on Prime. Let's put it that way. For whatever bots are scanning this show, I don't know. I mean, because we run into this all the time with like the queer censorship, as we were saying, is a real thing, you know? And it's like, there are times where I feel like, especially with more indie stuff, it gets real sanitized real fast, you know? And this, Lovers, is not. It is not what I would call a completely sterile. This is not like, you know, we've done lots of episodes about the sort of like what are the absolute tamest like gay moments in shows.
Oh, yeah,
you know?
like
This
when
is
they,
not
like
like knees touching under a sheet somewhere. Like be gay. They be being gay, you know, in delightful ways. And yeah, it's honestly, I'm excited for it to be on there. It's nice to see. I was sort of like, wow, what a delightful change of pace for Prime.
That's awesome.
Why don't we talk a little bit more about, I know we talked about like the porn part of it. Let's talk about like the kink community, because that was like a big piece of it as well. Is that also like something that you're drawing from your own experience with the community? You've drawn from community experience? Like, where did that all come from?
Yeah, well, okay, there's a number of different elements, but I would say that that's like definitely one of my strongest like group ties in my life. Like almost like family ties, you know? Mm-hmm. And that both is and wasn't true before the series. So part of it is like my dear friend who let me use her story is a retired dungeon owner who did have a professional lover that was exactly my age, that made me think, like this is possible, which is so exciting, and I need to make a show about this, you know? And so through like her experiences, I got to meet a lot of famous people in the kink scene from way back, because she's been there since the 60s, you know, like, and then, yeah, so I think a lot of the kind of different elements of that play in what was the other question?
I was just asking, like what's your personal experience with that you sort of brought into it, or was it more like community driven from other people in the community? And then I guess the other question would be like, why is it so important to you to bring it in? Like obviously because you're a part of the community, but like why did you feel like it really like brought the story together? And I know we talked a little bit about that before with the COVID kink kind of overlap.
Right. Well, so my kind of cheeky like thing in this series was making like surveillance a kink, making cleanliness a kink, but truly just thinking in the mindset of kink to me was important because it's been such an area where sex and spirituality already coexist. And so like, I don't know if this is necessary to know, but the whole fact of my mother being a rabbi is part of my biography.
Oh, is it?
Yes. Although there's a lot of fictional stuff with the mother character, I kind of had a good time being like, well, what if one day I didn't know about blah, 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 because I thought it was crazy to think about in this city of Los Angeles, my mother was existing and was my mother in the 80s.
Yeah.
And this woman was existing and was who she was in the 80s. Mm-hmm. And I was like, there's like no chance that they met, but like, what if they did, you know? Mm-hmm. So I think for me, that was like a place of healing because it's a huge, like a lot is accomplished with that backstory. Oh shoot, I'm giving so much away.
It's okay. Sorry. It's okay.
We said spoiler light. Spoiler light. It's okay.
Okay. Basically, I'm just interested in kink as a point of healing for like ritualization of like that sexuality and spirituality are already inherently joined, and that kink and leather sexuality is one of the areas where there's a lot of people who already know that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you have that, again, spoiler light, but there's that one scene where you have like the mom, and I'm so sorry because I don't know the name of them.
To fill in.
Yes, where you wrap around the arms and then it's sort of like contrasted with the ropes and everything. And like you can make, I mean, obviously visually you can do these really great, kind of connections between those things. But yeah, I think it's interesting to see. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, I just have to say that I think, and I've said this before, but I think that being raised religious, because we were very religious, for me, it was, and I think it's this way for a lot of Catholics that I've talked to as well. But for me, being raised a religious Jew, seeing my mom put on tefillin, this black leather on, like tightly wound on her skin, I'm like 7, and I'm like, wow. And like, she's going to this place to like be with God. And I'm just like, it impresses on you something. And I'm just like, did that make my proclivities later? Did that make me like see certain textures and things and see feel something?
Whereas Ellie and I both did grow up Catholic, and it's just all those men in dresses, like it just really turns you.
Oh, yeah. The nun film.
Yes.
We did tell you we are sold on the nun story.
Show.
Like it
love a good drag show.
Executive producers right here.
Yeah, right. Listen, this is where we're at.
If I was independently wealthy, I would fund that.
Yeah, we'd fund it. That's what I was gonna say though. Is like I think it tells an interesting story. I think of like the things that sometimes you don't think consciously about in terms of like what gets impressed on kids in some of these situations, because I mean it's like that is like you see it and you're like, oh well, yeah, sure, of course, obviously, like Daphne as a character, like of course she's now tying herself up in ropes, like well, how would you have expected anything else,
Exactly.
But then when you're looking at it, you're like, I mean, I guess that's probably not what her mom was going for.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'm like really thinking about that now, and I'm like the kink and Jesus. Is that what we're?
Oh
like,
yeah.
Because he's really tied up.
Mm.
That's so interesting. This is the first time I've really had to like constructively think about this. So it's very interesting.
Every dungeon has a St. Andrew's cross. Like it's just it's built in. It's like
that's so true. That is so true. Wow, this is blowing my mind and makes complete sense.
On that note, I'm gonna say we're gonna take a quick minute, give Ellie a break to think through some things, and we're gonna come right back and dive into more kink.
Hey, Michael.
Hey, Tom.
So big news to share, right? Yes, huge, monumental, earth-shaking.
Heartbeat sound effect, big. Mate is back.
That's right. After a brief snack nap.
We're coming back. We're picking snacks.
We're eating snacks.
We're rating snacks.
Like the snackologists we were born to be.
Mate is back.
Mike and Tom eat snacks.
Wherever you get your podcasts.
Unless you get them from a snack machine, in which case, call us.
Call us.
Do you guys hear that? Oh, that's our podcast, Ruin, brought to you by me, your host, intrepid horror movie freak, Hallie Kiefer.
And me, your resident scaredy cat, Allison Leiby. Join us each week as Hallie forces me to listen to the twisted plot of yet another bone-chilling horror movie.
From classics like The Exorcist and The Thing, to the latest releases, to the most disgusting films on streaming. We ruin them all every Tuesday, wherever you get your podcasts.
So come join us, and until then, we beg you, please,
keep it spooky.
Hi there, Fred Greenhalgh here, director of audio dramas like DC High Volume Batman and Star Trek Con. However, my one true love remains all things spooky, and I'm excited to say there's a new season of my horror podcast, Undertow. This season is called Familiar Haunts, standalone horror tales that reveal how the past is never truly gone, and humanity may be the most ruthless monster of them all. Familiar Haunts is available now. Find it by subscribing to Undertow wherever you get your podcasts, such as the app where you're listening to me right now. Search for Undertow.
When they were young, the 5 members of an elite commando group nicknamed the Stone Wolves raged against the oppressive rule of the Craterakian Empire, which occupies and dominates most of the galaxy's inhabited planets. The Wolves fought for freedom, but they failed, leaving countless corpses in their wake. Defeated and disillusioned, they hung up their guns and went their separate ways, all hoping to find some small bit of peace amidst a universe thick with violence and oppression. 4 decades after their heyday, they each try to stay alive and eke out a living. But a friend from the past won't let them move on, and neither will their bitterest enemy. The Stone Wolves is season 11 of the Galactic Football League science fiction series by author Scott Sigler. Enjoy it as a standalone story or listen to the entire GFL series beginning with season 1, The Rookie. Search for Scott Sigler, Sigler, wherever you get your podcasts.
Is it okay for me to ask you guys a question? Okay, I'm just so hungry for feedback because I've had like friends here and there being like, I saw it and I thought this or whatever. But like, I'm just like, did you have a favorite scene? Did you have a favorite character? Was there like anything that stuck with you? And I'm sorry that like to use the time for this, but like,
no, yeah.
I'm dying to know.
Good question. I feel as though for me, it was interesting when you're talking about the surveillance as a kink. I feel like that really stuck with me. Like the whole thing where like the name, like it was like, it's like both lightly comedic and also like really like makes you think about like the different things that like kink can be.
Yes.
So I don't know, I was really liking that whole like dynamic.
Fun fact is that I cast that woman to be the neighbor because I knew I was going to be doing a lot of filming at my house, both inside and outside of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like lights would have to go outside the windows. And I didn't want anyone ratting me out to my landlord and me getting in trouble. So I cast my landlord as the neighbor. And she was amazing.
Incredible.
Honestly, crushed.
That's so good. That's so good.
This
feels similar to the like.
She's honestly an improv genius.
Yes.
This feels so similar to the like we found a gay loophole. This is like the lengths that like the gays will go to make shit happen is like the limit does not exist. It's like, oh, we want to have gay sex. Well, listen, we've found a good religious reason that actually I need this dyke to go down on me. So sorry about it. It's not a man though. So like basically it's A-okay with God. I need to make this super gay show. So I'm just going to cast my landlord in it so that there's no issues is like peak. That's incredible.
Yeah. I also feel like the other thing, like this is just like a generalization, but I feel like it's interesting because like you sort of worked with like some friends and some people you didn't know, but I feel like the chemistry between all of the people acting felt really like, it just felt really like genuine and authentic, which was nice. I feel like it's hard to find that.
Yeah.
I you know what I have to say? Half of the cast was because of, and also a lot of the music was because of my producer, Luca Fisher. She is like the backbone of the LA underground. Like she is somehow like supporting, promoting, like helping in every which way, like selling drawings for, $30 here and whatever for so many people. And it's just so heartfelt. And then like we come to know each other from this connection and it grows from there. And so there is something that like I kind of want everyone to experience, and hopefully through the show, or if you visit LA, come on down. There's always like something going on. There's truly a very supportive interactive art scene that some people across disciplines, and that's all because of Luca Fisher. Like seriously,
that's so nice. But yeah, I feel like you can just feel it. Like,
yeah.
And I think it's something that I just like about like a DIY kind of creative project where you're like, it just feels like all of these people have a friendship with each other. Like you could feel that piece of it just from even just like the interactions, even if they were virtual. Like I feel like a lot of the like virtual interactions that like your character was having with like the best friend kind of character, like felt really like authentic.
Yes.
Yeah,
So,
and I feel like Ellie's dancing around also sort of saying like we've seen a lot of indie things with like far worse acting. like
Leah.
I'm so sorry. I'm just gonna say it because that's what we're both thinking, and I can tell we're both thinking it. But like, no, I mean, I think it is legit. Like it's, and also because it just felt authentically queer in a way that sometimes stuff really doesn't, which is hard when it's like you want to support it because like the heart's in the right place, but you're like, but also somehow it's like falling short somehow, And I think just in terms of, because you asked about like a scene or something, and I promise it's not just because it's the photo behind you, but I am gonna bring up the water scene. Only I need our listeners to know that we're looking at like the beautiful like clutching naked bodies underwater. Because I literally like I know you called out in the credits like who filmed it, and I was like, oh, I'm so glad because honestly, it felt like such a not indie shot scene. Like it was such a beautifully shot. Just the visuals of it were really nicely done. And also I am a huge sucker. Ever since reading, Ellie's gonna be so sick of me because I feel like I've said this for a number of things now, but I'm a sucker for a submersion underwater scene. After reading a recap from way back when of an episode of Pretty Little Liars. No, it wasn't Pretty Little Liars. You know what it actually was? I think it was Skins. It might have been a Skins recap, actually, just to bring us full circle. But it was written by Heather Hogan, who was writing a lot of show recaps at the time, who I love, and did like a whole breakdown on when characters submerge in water, and it's sort of like the religious baptismal like type of significance of those moments in media. And so I feel like every time I see characters go underwater and I'm just like, what's happening
like
here? What's the rebirth? What's
baptized.
what's the thing that we're seeing them sort of like willingly submit themselves to? And so that like, I think I'm still sort of like piecing together what that is for these characters, but I think that that's always like a scene where I'm like, okay, and now I have that sort of like, and I'm crunching away at it back here. But especially in a show like this where there is so much sort of like tying together of like these religious undertones and these queer undertones and these characters and their lives and all this stuff, like that was definitely a scene that I know I'm like, that's the one that is there prominently in the back of my head.
Yeah. Well, that image was the very first thing for me. It preceded the entire series.
Oh, really?
I dreamt it.
And it's a dream in the show.
Yeah. I dreamt it and it was us because that was my partner. So it was like going into lockdown and just grabbing on to what we had and being like, okay, here we go. It was kind of that feeling of like, this is, you had no other choice. It was complete surrender because we had no other choice, none of us anywhere.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And everything like in the show, it takes a turn to become like a premonition or seed idea. I won't spoil too much. but it's sort of indicated as a certain fadedness, or at least that's how the character would read it. Yeah. So yeah, the image really stuck with me. And if I can just say, so Ben Fink art directed it, and then Colton Horner is an underwater filmer and came up from San Diego for the cost of gas money just because he loves underwater stuff.
That's awesome.
That is amazing.
But Ben Fink is an artist a photographer who does these painting images. And I knew, and he also did the memories of Veronica in the dungeon, those stills. And they look like, Renaissance paintings. So I asked him to do these and he jumped in. So he conceived of the lighting and everything. I told him what I needed it to be and he really executed it.
That's awesome. And I'm curious, not to get us on a huge tangent, but just because I think part of the reason that I was that I'm still sort of curious about it is because I think it is the idea of this kind of baptism, whatever. Again, for Ellie and I growing up Catholic, I'm curious how do you read it in the context of the religious undertones being more on the Jewish side, which does not have, as far as I know, any sort of baptism.
Baptism came from the mikveh. So
okay,
yes,
great. This is where I'm now teach me, because I don't know, and that's what I'm looking for. So there is a
anytime you have a major life moment, we just did one with my nephew as he was graduating high school. We went out on a boat and he jumped off and my mom said the prayers and everything. But it's for a major threshold,
cool.
Yeah, people do it before weddings and things like that.
That's awesome. See, this is the context I needed. There you go. This is why it's so much easier to just get the creators on and talk to them directly. Gosh.
For every single
so much easier.
Need to ask you all the questions.
I know, right? Truly.
I just love, I don't know, it's just cool to think too, as creatives. It is really amazing when you're I had this thing in my head and now it's on. Do you feel like your vision for the series came true, or how did your vision for the series and how it actually came out compare?
I mean, an image like this, it's just crazy. That's exactly what I dreamt, and then we did it. That's what you do this for, I guess.
Yeah.
But in some ways, in other ways, the editor pulled out of what we had a far greater production value because of her hard work. She was literally doing camera moves because she's a cinematographer in real life,
Yeah.
She was doing work, wireframing camera moves. I'm sorry, I know that not everyone in the audience knows what that is, but basically she was putting in the effort on the back end, which you never want to do, to make the show that much better. And so much happens in the edit already. And she, basically she made it beyond what I could have. So that was a whole nother level. And then on top of that, the colorist did that all over again, giving us bringing out really emotionally what we needed from the color. And so I just I didn't have the capacity to dream this series the way it is because it's beyond my skill level, so now I have these teammates and I'm whoa, so much more is possible. So moving forward, I can have a bigger dream because I know what they can do.
That is so cool. We love what the community can do. Yeah. We love it. We love it.
I want to ask, sorry, just because I know we're getting close to the end, and I want to make sure we get some time just because I'm interested to hear about the Lesbian Movie Night ongoing project.
LMNOP started in 2011 in my living room in Chicago with my BFF and roommate, Danny Orendorff, who is a political lesbian, though he's a gay man in practice. And he actually was responsible for so much of my radical lesbian education. He would play Charlotte Bunch speeches while we're having breakfast. He literally educated me during those years we lived together. But we would show monthly lesbian films. He would usually pick an artistic short, and I would do Debs.
Love it. That makes sense.
It was the perfect pairing.
Yeah.
And we did that for years in Chicago, and then it moved locations with each time I moved houses or co-host by who I lived with. And then when I came to LA, I did it in our home, and then I did it in a friend's home. And then it moved into a more public setting. And in between that time, there were some pop-ups in different states where people would ask us to bring it or whatever. And so we would do a movie night, and also once in Prague. So
nice.
Countries
international.
Too. Yes. But that kind of continued in different iterations, and had certain publications and zines put out and things like that, depending on, this 14 years of time. So it had many different things happen. Right now, there's a list that I don't think it's an exhaustive list of everything, but there's a movie list, although movie is complicated. I don't want to send people there, but it's free to look at the list of LMNOP movies. I think it's Lez MNOP. No, it's probably just connected to my name. I'll actually have to check on that and tell you guys.
Yes, all good.
But yeah, so LMNOP is this ongoing, and its ongoing is in the name, because even if it becomes less frequent, it's still always an option. Like, seriously, if somebody in some random small town wants to put it on, I will help you, because it's so important to gather together. And I think semi-private spaces are often places where you can have like a lot of creative liberty. Yeah, so that was kind of where that started. And it's allowed me to screen things, because I was doing it in LA at this actually VHS store called Whammy that also has a screening component. And I was able to screen some things that hadn't showed in the US except for in festivals, and that was really great. So yeah, it still pops up from time to time.
I love that. I feel like we love, like, we have a big like community thread here. It's like community events, especially obviously queer community events, and like I do feel like there is such a need for that always.
Mm-hmm.
But like it's like I feel like every time period has a different version of that need, but like it's always there. Yeah, so that's so nice. Is there anything else that you want to tell our listeners about The Lovers before we head to our Q&A?
Oh, I guess I should say that my friend told me that they watched it on a second date. Like it was like the activity, like they binged it all together. And I was like, I think there might be like a hidden spell in it that's like, it's like an aphrodisiac. Like, can you, like, I challenge the viewer to watch it with a date, and like, because I think
I think that's a great idea.
Can I just say, though,
you're correct.
That's such a queer power move to be like, yeah, on our second date we spent, because what is the whole series runtime?
Oh,
I think
so
it's 2 or 3 hours. Like,
yeah,
and the emotional arc.
Yeah. It's like, what a queer power move to be like, yeah, we spent like 3 hours watching this super queer, like kinky, sexy series.
Yeah, I also feel like it's like if it's your second date, it was like 6 hours, maybe like 8 hours.
Yeah.
They're watching it, they're
pause.
pausing it,
We
they're
all
watching
know
it.
it was a
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Sure.
I'm obsessed. I think that's a great challenge, and I want to hear some of our listeners. If you do it, please let us know.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's amazing.
And we said at the top, but actually we'll say it after the Q&A. Never mind. After the Q&A, tell everyone where they can watch it again. But
Yeah.
Let's head into our Q&A. Here we go. So we're going to ask you some multiple choice questions. Are you ready?
Ready.
Q and gay.
Pick a skill. A, writing. B, acting. C, directing. Or D, producing.
Pick a skill? I didn't know this was going to be the hardest question of all time.
To be clear, we also put these up on our Instagram so our listeners can answer. So there's no wrong answers, and
yes,
you can
always do a write-in.
You can also write in as the guest on the episode.
I'm going to say producing because it allows you to do all of them.
Okay, incredible. Okay, question 2, also low pressure. Pick a new career. A, tarot readings. B, dungeon mistress. C, fitness guru. Or D, porn star.
Well, D.
There you go.
Perfect. Question number 3, what was the hardest part of early pandemic days for you? A, dating. B, living alone. Or C, physical connection.
Oof. It's going to have to be A.
Mm-hmm.
Or all the sourdough. Listen, there's choices. Question 4. What's your kink out of A, I'm extremely vanilla, B, ropes, C, surveillance, or D, BDSM?
Ooh, ropes forever.
Nice. All right, question number 5. What legacy media do you want to consume queer media on? A, VHS, B, zines, C, cassettes, or D, vinyl?
Oh my God. Actually, cassettes, because then you can cut out like all the things and like place it exactly into. Anyway, I'm giving away my age here, but cassettes, A side and a B side.
I also feel like it's hard for me to say legacy media when like I know like especially zines and like vinyl. I'm like, these are still real things. I also don't know how to categorize them, you know?
I think that's accurate. Yes.
I want like gay porn on a Tamagotchi screen. That's, how do we get that?
I will make it for you.
Yes.
Do it.
Just like a gay little Tamagotchi that you have to tie up every few hours or something.
I have a recommendation based on that. It's called Y2 Cage. It's by my friend Jazzy Boho. And it's a porn that just like won the local thing at the Tucson Erotic Film Festival. And
Incredible.
It's like Tamagotchi on a porn screen. You got it. Just like
Y2 Cage.
Y2 Cage. And guess what?
Cage with a C?
It's going to be on, if it's not
or
already
with a K?
on. With it, like cage, like a cage.
Yeah.
Like with a G.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cage. Oh, sorry, with a C.
With a C. I gotcha.
It's on Pink Label, so once you get your subscription.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ellie's taking notes again,
Okay, good.
This episode sponsored by Pink Label and Real Shorts. Yes. Amazing. And remember, listeners, you can give us your own answers to this episode's Q&A questions on our Instagram at Lez Hang Out Pod. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. This has been amazing.
So much fun. I love the questions you made.
Like just riffing on porn for like 3 hours.
Daviel, let our listeners know, where can they find you on all the things? Where can they find all of your projects and all of your stuff? Where can they find the lovers on all the things, all the socials, all the everything?
Okay, personally, I'm Solstice Tits on Instagram.
Great choice. I'm like adding immediately.
I write a Substack called Shyly Brazen, where I talk about mostly sex and spirituality, but other topics as they come up. And you can find my alter ego if you are into that sort of thing at it's Burnt Reynolds, but it's BURNT Reynolds. And that's Instagram and all the not safe for work sites. And then what was the other? Oh, where can we see the series? The series is on Instagram at @thelovers_web series. And it is also on Prime. You don't have to have Prime. You can just go to Amazon. But also, if you're boycotting Amazon, you can just go to Real Shorts. It's on there for free. Or you can go to Vimeo on demand and pay me directly.
And Real Shorts sponsor us and pay us directly for all this great promo.
Yes.
The future is vertical.
I like how you say that while you are actually in a vertical box right now.
I know.
Yes. Amazing. Daviel, thank you so much for spending time with us and for creating this amazing series.
I'm so excited. And I'm so glad you guys are now in my community.
Yay. We love hearing from you and building community, so we want to shout out some of our favorite things each episode. We just want to shout out all of the people who came to our Buffy trivia event at Henrietta Hudson's on Sunday. We fully sold out the place. It was so packed. Our friends at Cruising Pod had the best time. And so we want to say a shout out to all of you for showing up during spooky season for Buffy.
Incredible. We also want to shout out some comments that we got on our Ingrid Goes West episode. One from Instagram user, The Real Joanna Burns, who said, not kidding, never saw it, but I thought this just was a gay movie, which is 100% the right assumption to have made. There's no way that the promo for this film did not sell it as a gay movie. And also, Golden State of Mind, who said, yes, Lizzie and Aubrey had such great chemistry on this press tour and in the movie. I hadn't even thought to look up the press tour clips, so I'm excited for that. But all correct.
Just a little
answers.
light before bed videos. Love it.
And as always, we want to thank our Lesbian Jesus patrons, Mark Foster,
Lizette Stye,
Adi Benitez,
Sophia Phillips,
and Armani Gucci.
And our King Princess patrons, Amy and Ellen.
And Andrea Doucette. Thank you all so much. We could not keep making this podcast without you and all of our patrons.
Remember, you can also find us on all social medias, Instagram, Facebook, Blue Sky, and TikTok at Lez Hang Out Pod.
You can email us at lezhangoutpod@gmail.com.
You can check out our website at lezhangoutpod.com.
Whatever app you use to listen to podcasts, make sure that you subscribe. That way you'll get new episodes as soon as they go up every week.
We're also putting videos on our YouTube channel, so make sure you subscribe at youtube.com/LezHangoutPod to catch them.
Lez Hang Out is an independently produced show. It's hosted by us. Our audio production is done by Ellie. Our production assistant is Krista Mearson. And various other podcasting shenanigans are done by me.
If you want to support the podcast, the easiest thing to do is rate and review us on iTunes or wherever you listen to your podcasts. We love to hear what you have to say.
If you want to support us on Patreon, it is one of the best ways to help support the show. You get access to our Discord chat. You get access to extra bonus Les Central episodes. You can join us at bit.ly/LesPatreon.
If you want to get some Lez Hang Out merch, you can get that at our merch store at bit.ly/LesMerch. We have all kinds of designs, so you can rep your gayness wherever you go.
Remember, we also have a queer production company making queer podcast musicals with guaranteed happy endings. You can find us everywhere at $Bean Prod.
Or at our website, dollarbeanproductions.com.
You can check out our first 2 shows, The Flame and Journey to the Heart, on any podcasting app.
And if you want to help support us in making more musicals, you can join our Patreon at bit.ly/$Patreon.
If you want to follow us individually, you can find me on Instagram, Blue Sky, and TikTok at LSH Foster.
You can find me on Instagram and TikTok at Ellie Richida. With that, I'm Ellie.
And I'm Lee. And let's hang out again soon.
Let's hang out.
From the darkest corners of our imagination comes a game show that's more ridiculous than terrifying. Welcome to Tickled to Death, the horror comedy game show where nothing is sacred, everything's a little unhinged, and the only thing more cursed than the questions are the jokes. I'm Roz Hernandez, your fearless host, and each week I'll be leading a brave group of guests through twisted horror trivia, improv games, and enough sarcastic banter to make you question all your life's choices. So come for the screams, stay for the snark. Listen to Tickled to Death wherever you get your podcasts, and hit follow unless you want the show to follow you. In the meantime, don't get tickled to death.